Hello and welcome to the SheerLuxe show. I'm Charlotte Collins and we have a wonderful show for you today. Lou is here. She's diving into the wardrobe of the uber stylish Monikh Dale. From her go-to brands to her favourite accessories, it is all the inspiration you need, and obviously she is just total heaven to spend time with too. But first, let me introduce our fabulous guests. We have three newbies: ex-Vogue Global Director of Talent and Casting, and now heading up her own agency, Rosie Vogel Casting. It's Rosie Vogel. Senior Fashion Editor at Threads, Nadia Phillips, plus author Sunita Kumar Nair. Welcome, everyone. Sunita, we should say author of the brilliant Carolyn Bessette-Kennedy tome, forward by Edward Ellenford. We have a podcast coming out soon with more detail on that, but it is fabulous.
Thank you.
Welcome all. So lovely to have you all here.
Hi.
Three newbies.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's exciting. We've got to start by talking. We've got three real fashion experts here, and we're gonna look at some weddings because there've been two big celebrity wedding moments in the last couple of weeks. First, we had Olivia Culpo, former Miss Universe, married Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49ers. You lose me when the sports. And Olivia Palermo got remarried. Let's start with Olivia Culpo because this dress, there were several dresses, and the main dress has caused a bit of controversy, a bit of outrage, which is kind of unexpected because it's very simple. What are your thoughts initially on the dress, Nadia?
I'm outraged, to be honest.
No, tell us what you really think. Yeah.
By her looking so beautiful in that boring as hell dress. Truthfully, it just didn't give main character moment for me, and it didn't give Dolce. I don't understand it, nothing about it. And she's so beautiful. Obviously, she still looked incredible. I just was really underwhelmed.
Do you guys think that perhaps she, obviously she is so beautiful, she's not afraid to have her body out. Do you think she just wanted almost a detract from a quiet
shot?
It felt like a sort of a clean slate kind of thing. I mean, obviously.
I feel like you can tell what she was trying to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
I thought it was a beautiful dress, but maybe not right for her.
Yeah.
I think when you're doing something classic and it has to feel like you, and if you're suddenly adopting a new persona, that can read that it's not really your.
But then if she ended up with tits and teeth out, it is a bit sort of that's jarring. It's either just stick with one sort of thing. I don't think on your wedding day you can't go from Madonna to whore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just got to keep it.
But I also feel like there is a way to do. I always think of Meghan Markle's second dress as if you want elegant, understated, clean, simple, you can do it in that kind of still sexy, still flattering way.
I loved her second dress.
Me too.
Actually.
Her
I thought that was
really
so
good.
Nadia, to your point on that it didn't feel Dolce, what do you all think about going to a designer and then having them create something that doesn't feel kind of authentic to them?
There's so many designers that could have done that are, that vibe, but just don't know why you would go to Dolce for a really minimal, covered up, non-lacy kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, weird for them to not use lace because that is the thing, but that must have been strictly under her direction.
Yeah.
And obviously she was probably, trying to have it not look like Kourtney Kardashian's dress. And so it's hard to kind of get away from those those house signatures, especially with them.
It wasn't very befitting of the scene either, because I noticed that the gown was really voluminous and she was kind of squeezing through this quite tight aisle. That also
one thing to take into consideration.
I think every bride does need to. You need to think about the venue and what where the dress is set. So
I mean, she did have the beautiful lace veil, which is that was
quite redeeming.
Thankfully. And I don't know, did you guys all see her party dress afterwards with the structured skirt?
Yes.
Sort of lampshade-esque. I actually thought that was really cool and a bit different.
Yeah, that was a bit different.
And a bit there's been some controversy online because obviously the wedding went live with Vogue straight away. She'd obviously kind of was looking for the same level of press attention that Sophia Richie had last year. It was this big splash. She's then had a lot of criticism. A lot of people haven't liked the dress, and they've completely lashed out, calling people toxic and horrible. And what do you think if you're giving your? I think if you're giving your wedding to the internet in that way, you sort of have to take the.
Yeah, you just have to take. Yeah, of course. Especially if she's doing something so not her. You know what I mean? It felt very off-brand for her. So I think you have to expect that people are gonna react like
that. But I think a lot of brides sometimes do that, or they'll do that with their hair and makeup. Like they'll do something that's not what they would normally wear, and then it just suddenly looks kind of like a weird pastiche or kind of cartoon character version of them, you know?
Yeah. Maybe people feel like when you give things out to the public, there are some things that maybe feel like a sacred, you know, like your wedding or like your kids, and it's like, so it feels like awful when you get that criticism about things like that, because it are those kind of like sacred moments, but then at the same time, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Yeah,
like,
exactly that.
And also, of course, it's a vulnerable moment because you're getting married, but then probably don't give it to Vogue.
I actually, but that's it. And I think I remember like when I got married, I put loads of photos in this, and I've actually subsequently taken quite a lot of it off because exactly that. I'm like, oh, this is my moment.
Yeah. I don't need you to weigh in on it. Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about Olivia Palermo, because her and Johannes got married, I think it was 10 years ago. This was the 10 years kind of anniversary, sort of. And obviously that was kind of, controversial is probably too strong a word, but in the original wedding, we'll put a photo on screen, she wore a sweet little jumper, skirt.
Yeah.
You know,
which also was...
Which was unexpected for...
Yeah, it's quite niche.
Yeah. I've never seen a cashmere.
It's like a skirt and cardigan.
Yeah, it was kind of giving pandemic wedding.
I think there was feathers, there was shorts, it was all over the place.
But she's redeemed herself with this major fashion moment, and I don't know if they got renewed their vows or if it was just an anniversary party. I'm getting a nod. They renewed their vows apparently. Yeah. So let's talk first of all. There were several dresses, all Giambattista Valli. Let's talk about the big white one with the black detailing. Yeah. What were your thoughts, Rosie?
I thought it was a lot. Yeah. I think just sort of the volume, and I don't know. I just think it's not to my personal taste, but I think that was probably the chicest of the three. And remember saying they were very like sort of matchy with the husband. Yeah. It makes for a nice thingy, but then it's like if you're just renewing your vows, there's just a lot of volume for like a sort of an anniversary.
Sunita, your thoughts?
I just thought it felt very Gone with the Wind, and like, you know,
is that in a good way or a bad way?
Is she going to come rolling down the stairs and like with the Texan accent? I don't know. It was just. Again, it just didn't feel her. She's you know, chic girl, and she can put things together so well. That's what she's known for. It needs to have a little bit of the bride. It just can't be a costume. And I think
it was very much. It was like look 38 from the couture.
Exactly.
I'll have that.
Yeah, exactly.
Nadia, your thoughts?
Same. I think the main takeaway for me with that dress was, because I think it was probably the nicest one of the three, was just that her and him together looked quite aesthetically pleasing with their colours and everything for the photograph. But yeah, it just didn't feel very her. She feels more like minimal, silhouette-y kind of vibe to me.
I don't agree with any of you. I really love this dress. I was waiting to see if anybody else was really on my side. She's got a long-time relationship with Giambattista, with the brand. Like she's always at those couture shows. Like it kind of, obviously it's like it's a more over-the-top look than we would ever otherwise see her in. But like it's a wedding, and I love the details. I thought it's detailing that you couldn't otherwise get in a dress that isn't made with that level of craftsmanship. Like there's this incredible gap between the puff sleeve and then there's some embellishment, and I just thought it was like a major dress, and actually I felt like she
but is it like a major dress? Is it a wedding dress?
Maybe and maybe the dress is very
I mean?
I don't know. Exactly. I liked it, but the lacy moment.
I mean, there's a lot of texture with the cape and then the lace, and I don't know, the stomach out just didn't feel
I don't think you should really see a midriff unless it's sort of like a different kind of wedding.
That's a Vegas thing.
Or like, if you were like in a sari and it was like culturally appropriate. Yeah, sure. Otherwise, I don't need to see a bride's midriff. I don't need to see I don't see anyone's midriff at their wedding. Actually, it's kind of
sacred space.
Yeah, it feels really
just changing for the sake of changing, right? Changing into another outfit.
The green felt just very random, but that last one felt for me like the worst.
Too much. Let's talk about good wedding dresses. Of all the celebrity moments ever, what are your favourite? What are the dresses that stand out for you as the best wedding dresses ever?
Mine is Carolyn Bissett's. That is like on, I think, like every mood board I've ever sort of done for sort of anything is always like, I just think, just perfect. So simple, so chic, and that that amazing cut on the bias, so flattering. so often imitated and just perfect at it at the time, and the way that was like, there was like, that was obviously, it's before social media, so there is that just that one photo of them on the steps of the thing, and that's it, and it's just perfect.
Yeah, she's pretty perfect.
And Posh and Becks, obviously.
Obviously, we didn't talk about the purple looks that they brought back out this week. So good. I love how they take the
Yeah,
but also
so
like
good.
the purple, like choosing that.
Yes.
Sunita, I'm guessing yours isn't the purple Beckham.
It isn't the purple one. That's so strange. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Caroline Bassett's was a moment, but again, I've spoken about that in my book. It is about what she was comfortable in before, so that's why it is such an iconic dress. I think it was a silhouette that she just kind of owned before. I also loved Marta Ortega's dress. So she's the daughter of the Zara retail guy, and it's just this really beautiful high-necked collared, pleated plissé silk floor-length gown, and it's just, again, it felt very her. It was done by Valentino, and probably not so celebrity-ish, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, and she just looked cool and together with it. So, yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
Nadia?
So, I'm probably not the best person for like wedding. I don't know. Wedding dresses don't really tickle me. But I thought Jasmine Took's looked really chic and beautiful, and I just love her.
Yeah.
So I think she just looked great. I think it was a perfect wedding dress. It suited her really well. But I will say, the one thing I can't stop seeing on my algorithm is the Ambani wedding.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a whole
I
other
don't know what
kettle
I've
of
done
fish,
with my
isn't it?
algorithm, but
You watched one Justin Bieber video.
Honestly, the pre-wedding celebration, they've been doing these events since 2022.
Yeah.
And the wedding is on the 12th, so it's coming up. So I know I'm going to be
Sorry, was Justin
deep
Bieber not the
diving.
wedding?
No, that was
he was like the pre-wedding party.
They also,
I thought that was the actual thing.
No, and they rented out the entire front of Portofino and threw another event there. But I'm just here for the mum's jewellery, to be honest.
I need to stalk them. I need a deep stalk of the mum.
I heard she doesn't wear anything twice, so I would love to see the safe.
I guess, why would you? Yes, it's understated. That wedding is not. Let's move on. I'm right in thinking we've got another chat topic. Yes, okay,
cool.
We're going to talk controversial shoe trends, and we were having an off before because we've got the full gamut here today. I mean, shoes have kind of always been the thing that perhaps it's because people experiment with them the most, but there is kind of every range of type of shoe out there at the moment that is causing controversy, from mesh ballet flats from the row to the Elias to the Crocs. Thank you, Rosie. So I want to know where do you stand on ugly shoes, trendy shoes? I mean, I think we can probably guess the answer there. Rosie?
I love an ugly shoe. Kind of the uglier the better sometimes. I think it's sort of just, I don't know why. I've always been quite attracted to a sort of an ugly or an off shoe, or something something clunky, sort of my brother used to call them the man repellers. It was always and I was just so the
I
Crocs
also love the
spoke
way
to me.
you've styled it, because that's what I love with an ugly shoe, is the offsetting it with a really feminine, pretty dress. Yeah. And then you've got this kind of chunky, in your face kind of shoe.
Well, they call it the wrong shoe trend on TikTok, don't they? Where it's basically whatever your outfit is, you should wear the wrong shoe for. So if you're wearing a pretty feminine dress, wear something really clunky rather than something elegant and feminine. And
I love that.
So today you're in the Simone Rocha Crocs. What else have you done over the years then? If you've always, I've got a list here of things like the Margiela tabbies, obviously.
I can't do that because I cannot stand the sensation.
Yeah.
Between my toe, I just feel like it's sort of sick. And
would you wear a flip flop?
No.
Oh, you don't like that either?
I don't like that either.
No.
Flip flops are a no for me, only because I'm Australian, I think.
I had this. I've got the Phoebe for Celine mink lined Birkenstocks.
I love them.
Yeah, those are nice.
Which are really, really, I mean, just like so ridiculous because it's like, when can you wear them? Because if you wear them when it's hot, your foot sweats, and then like the ink from the thing gives me like a black sole of my foot. So I kind of have to wear them with the sock. Yeah. Which makes it even more kind of like slightly insane because it's like a furry shoe with
I
the sock.
love the furry shoes.
Well, I had the furry Gucci loafers back when they were. But there's no season for them because you can't wear them when it's cold or wet or warm. So they're not that ideal.
But they look good.
They do. They look great. I love those shoes.
I love off shoes.
See, you are in the most. I mean, I always want to ask you to take one off and show the camera. We'll get them on screen because I fear that they're being blocked. I mean, they're so exquisite. These Prada shoes, they're so beautiful. Where do you stand on a? I mean, they're not controversial, really, are they? But they're definitely a conversation piece.
Yeah, I mean, I come from being an accessories editor back in the day, so I love a good off shoe. I think it's always something that's like very everyday, that's made and elevated to something very luxurious, I think. You know, it's the unexpected. So the Simone Rocha is like your regular clog that you kind of bejewel, and then Margiela's tabby shoes, another one, right? Those were used by workers in Japan. So it's like, I think that there's that utilitarian element, but it's then made into something luxurious, and then everybody wants it, which is just the absolute opposite, right, of what it's meant to do. And these, I don't know if it's an off shoe, but
they're incredible.
Yeah, they do give origami. I think
have
an origami vibe to them. I love them.
But there's an artwork to it, isn't it? And I think it's the same with the Simone Rocha. There's some kind of element that's very art, and I love it.
One of my colleagues at work, she's like a Gen Z, she was telling me that
One of those.
She was telling me that she's trying to find the Isabel Marant wedge sneaker.
No.
It's really coming back, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how I had that shoe.
Yeah. It's a bit like they wear the buffaloes as well, don't they? It's a lot. Let's talk about the Alayas. Yeah. This has also been, I mean...
The mesh shoe.
Mesh shoe. I mean, everyone's doing them.
I love it. And I think it's just how you style it. It has to be like, I think you need a bit of a trouser cutting it. If it's just like
too much leg,
it looks a bit funny. But I love the mesh shoe.
Thank you so much all. Next up, it is one of the team's favourite shoots of the year. Lou hung out in Monikh Dale's wardrobe and chatted everything fashion, from style staples to her go-to outfit combos. This is definitely not one to miss. Enjoy.
It's like a girl's dream, isn't it? You want to be the cheerleader.
American Sweetheart, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. You could wear it as a skirt. You could wear it as a headscarf.
You could.
It could go on the bag.
You could make a bag.
Countless possibilities.
Sarongs is my new holiday vibe.
You're in your sarong era.
I'm in my sarong era.
I'm looking for some affordable silver necklaces and jewellery for everyday wear. What brands do you recommend? The mixed metal I'm really into. These are H&M. Glastonbury 2025 vibes.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to another edition of Style Insider. This week we are joined by stylist Monikh Dale to talk through all the amazing pieces in her wardrobe. Thank you so much for joining us, Monikh.
Thanks for coming.
To start, how would you define your style?
I think I'm a minimalist, but in that kind of earthy, tonal, quite relaxed way.
Yeah.
I do wear quite a lot of black and white, but I think I love those kind of like brown and yellows and like olive greens like coming in. So minimalist, but in an earthy way, I think.
And has your style always been like that, or has that kind of evolved over the years?
When I did actually start, it was very simple. Like my Topshop days, I was really into Topshop Boutique. Do you remember them? Black silk shorts, like a silk white top, and my coat would be black. It was very minimal.
Okay.
And I think as I've progressed, every now and then I've like thrown in a bit more of like an out there dress or an out there, you know, just like one odd piece, depending on like how I felt and like what I was going through. Each day represents how I feel that day.
Okay.
But I think the core is very simple.
All about basics, good textures, good shapes.
Yeah, I think that's when you kind of get the most out of your wardrobe.
Yeah. You like your core pieces and you really wear them.
Yeah, I feel like that's important. Like being able to like investing in these pieces is amazing. Like, I feel really lucky to be able to do something I love. Yeah. But realistically, to invest in something like that, I have to wear it every day to justify having it.
So we're talking about the Row, which is obviously a very expensive brand. Yeah. What is it about the Row that you love so much?
The pieces that I've invested in from them are really wearable. Yeah. I feel like me, but in a really polished way. Yeah. Their pattern cutters are obviously really clever. They know how to cut something to make it feel like it flows around your body. Yeah. And the fabrics are so beautiful, and they really do last.
Yeah, and you know, a piece like this is a simple khaki canvas jacket. Yeah. How would you style this one?
So at the moment, well, I just got this back from the tailors because I had the sleeves shortened, because it's such an oversized fit. Yeah. But I think it's those simple like cut off points, like to the ankle or to like just above the wrist. Yeah. Which will make it not look like I'm drowning in it.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing you seem to do really well is you take your pieces and you tailor them to fit your shape. You're obviously more petite. Is that something you feel like you have to do a lot and that really makes a difference to your wardrobe?
It's not a burden for me. I find like I really enjoy being able to find pieces and tweak them so that they are more personal to me. Yeah. Most styles you can wear, it is just about figuring out how it fits your body, you know, where you might need it cinched in or, you know, things like that.
So what would you say is your kind of go-to outfit formula? If you don't know what to wear, what is your throw on?
The jacket, I'm wearing this every day to obviously justify it, because I want to. And then these Citizens of Humanity jeans, I wear them constantly. Most days, at some point of the day, I've taken off what I'm wearing and I've put these on. I haven't altered them either. Okay. What I've done is I went a size down because they're really oversized, and then I've just rolled them up. They came rolled up. Yeah. And I've washed them so many times and I feel like they just hold. Yeah. They hold so really well. I love them, so I always go for them. Yeah. The belt, which you're wearing today, I have these James Pierce t-shirts. This is really, really worn in. I've had this for a few years.
And it's so soft.
It's so soft. And I wear these all the time. They wash so well. And then recently I've been wearing a lot of red. So this is St. Agni, Australian brand. So I wear that all the time. And then I've either got just a pair of like Supergas on or like Row flip-flops now that it's becoming summer again.
Yeah. And what about the kind of the key pillars of your wardrobe? What are the items that you constantly go to buy again, you always love again, are always in your wardrobe?
Well, every season I invest in a coat. Okay. I feel like I'm a coat girl. And then it's probably t-shirts. T-shirts are something that I invest in every season. I think you need one fancy top. Okay. Again, because I'm so simple, it probably doesn't look like much, but it's like a wax cotton.
Oh, it's lovely.
Really interesting. And I've gone to fabric shops trying to find this fabric and I can't find it. It's really interesting. It makes it hold its shape.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
And then these two other pieces that I have, I ummed and ahed about this.
I love this so much.
It's so nice. It's the CHLOÉ navy waistcoat. I think I first tried it on like last January. Put it on and I was like, oh, the fit of it. It was the nicest, like most flattering waistcoat I tried. Yeah. But obviously it's such an investment piece. I was like, I can't do that. And then 2 months went by and I hadn't found one as good.
And you keep thinking about it.
I kept thinking about it non-stop. So like, if I can't stop thinking about it, I know I need it. Yeah. But I do know that I'll have this forever because it's such a classic.
And I think the shape of this, I think it being like slightly higher at the neck, you've got like loads of buttons, it's a little bit longer, it's got a slightly more feminine silhouette to it. It feels slightly more unique as well to your kind of your classic short waistcoat.
And then this, as you can see, it needs a dry clean, is La Collection. Yeah. And I love the designer. I think she's incredible. And so I got this last year and I have worn this non-stop. And I love the shape of it. It's got like a slight peplum cut to it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So what I did was I went up a size. Okay. So it wasn't fitted. I don't like anything that feels restrictive, but I'm obsessed with it. And I really love that kind of butter. Obviously.
Yeah, I'm seeing like a lemon butter lemon theme here.
I've really got into it recently. So yeah, a few kind of tops, but I honestly live in these and just like rotate them over and over again, those tops.
And what would you say inspires, is it a brand, who, people, anything? What inspires your style the most?
Originally, it was my parents who inspired me. And I find that I am slowly recreating a lot of my mum's looks. I remember my mum having like a Halle Berry haircut and going to a leather shop and having this like floor-length leather coat made. And I remember her just putting it on with a red tank, like this St. Agni one, and just going out. And like couldn't care less who was looking or like what people thought.
Has she still got it?
She doesn't have it. My mum sold everything.
Oh no!
I know, like even her wedding dress, I think she cut up and made it into something else.
Okay.
But she just had like the coolest style. They wore stuff because they wanted to, because it made them feel good, and it was slightly different, which is what they loved.
Yeah.
And then apart from them, it's probably like my lifestyle, you know, where I am, like who I am at this time. Like I was saying before, like now I am a mum, it has slightly changed slightly to a bit more relaxed, easy, you know, not as delicate.
And being a stylist, you're so exposed to, you know, the hottest products, all the new brands, all the trends. How much do you follow that?
I think it's really important in what I do to be on the ball with what is going on. And obviously you always, being in the industry, you always want to be on the trend as well. But I think it's finding pieces that will still last within the trend, like the waistcoat.
Yeah. And what about brands and designers? Who are your go-tos?
The Row is at the top of my list, but I cannot afford to have everything The Row. I love Australian brands like St Agni, Bear Park, I think they're beautiful. Kate is also a really nice one, but quite like a luxury designer. The girls at Faithful, I did a really beautiful collection with them last year and they were so amazing to work with. Dries Van Noten, their spring-summer collection is really cool because I feel like they've got that real masculine style. Wardrobe NYC, I feel like is really cool.
Yeah, amazing. This is a really cool piece.
It's really, this is so beautiful on. I feel like their pattern cutters are really clever as well because it's like that kimono, but they've cut the seam in here so that when you have it tied up, it doesn't bunch around your arm and it still flows. Like little things like that I think are so cool.
I love how much you notice pattern cutting, like you've mentioned that a number of times.
Yeah.
That's obviously like in your DNA that you're really looking at the shapes and the fit and the silhouette.
I did a fashion design degree in women's wear and I did pattern cutting, and I find like simple cuts, being able to like move a shoulder or put a different seam somewhere else, it's such a simple thing, but it completely changes the way that a piece flows around. And I feel like that's how you can see the difference between a high street piece and a high-end piece.
And what about high street? I know you used to be a Topshop girl. Anywhere else that you think is really does it well?
So this suede top behind you, Lou, that's Massimo.
Love this.
And I love how they've gathered it at the front and back as well. So really simple. I'll wear this with just like pajama pants kind of thing. But yeah, I love their play on textures this season.
So speaking about individual items, what would you say is the most treasured item in your wardrobe?
The most treasured, this, again, it's the Row. But I did get it on the outnet. It was initially meant to be for my civil, my wedding, and I was obsessed, and then I got pregnant, so I couldn't wear it.
And that shape as well, that's tight here, so it's not...
Yes, and I'd had it altered as well, so she made it even tighter on my waist. But it just fits so beautifully. It's one of those pieces where it's quite fitted there, but then it drapes here, and then the way it moves, I think, is so interesting. So I think the first time I managed to wear it after I'd had the baby and was back to my size, I think I forced my husband to take me out for lunch. I turned up at town and I was like, are you free? Can you take me out? So yeah, I've worn it to town a few times.
But that's so nice to wear those really special pieces, you know, throughout your life, and like they're expensive. You want to make the most of them and wear it with sandals and pop into town and wear it. Why not? And what about if you were doing something with fancy? If you're going to a wedding, what would you wear? What's your kind of go-to outfit formula for that?
The last wedding I went to, I wore a really beautiful dress by La Collection again. It's a halter neck, and it was so simple. I wore just that, some strappy shoes, and like a big stone necklace.
Amazing.
I love like the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
Made me feel really kind of chic.
And what about shopping? Do you have a shopping motto?
I am a really decisive person. I want to say 95% of the time I will go and be like, yeah, I love it. I'm going to wear it a million different ways. I'll know instantly if I love it. If that 5% of me is, I can't decide, I'll buy it. And if I haven't worn it by the end of the week, I'll return it.
Okay.
So I have like a week cut off.
You've got a nice window.
Yeah.
Nice. And what about spring, summer wish list? What's on your radar?
I have just bought a few of the pieces that were on my wish list.
Which one? What were they?
So I bought a pair of Kate snake sandals.
Yeah.
really beautiful.
I feel like we need to go delve into all your accessories.
Yeah,
in a sec.
I need to show. I feel like I've really gone into accessories this season, and then I got those white cotton, almost like paper bag effect trousers from A Piece Apart, and I really love them. So last year I wore a lot of trousers this shape, but in linen, and they were so beautiful. But I feel like this season I'm probably going to go for more cottons.
Yeah, I love that.
But these fit really beautiful, so they're A Piece Apart.
That's such a nice brand. Well, I feel like we need to go and have a look at accessories.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go have a look. Perfect. Treasure trove.
Yes.
Okay, talk me through bags.
Okay, so bags. This shelf is for like new delicate bags. This one is probably my latest investment. It's Bottega, and I just love how it's got like that kind of boho shape to it.
Yeah, I love this.
And
Absolutely
the colour.
love it, yeah.
This is my bougie aisle. And then the sardine bag. This is like if I'm going somewhere fancy or if I'm wearing something really kind of casual and I need to elevate it.
Okay.
But I feel like this, I'm going to wear so much more.
Yeah, that's a good go-to every day.
Every day, definitely. This is the row. I think I wore this, it was this dress.
Yeah.
And then I had like a long brown trench on with it on the weekend. I just felt so, quite like a lot of colours for me.
Yeah, I look at that and I can see how that would go with everything in your wardrobe.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, this is how I get everything down. So I'm obsessed with all these like market style bags.
Yeah.
I got this when I was in Mauritius.
Oh, I love that.
And it's like my going out
Really nice shape.
evening bag. Like the shape is beautiful and the really thin handle.
Yeah.
I'm really into Dragon Diffusion. Yes. The green is probably my favourite.
I've wanted one of these for so long. I just haven't done it. I don't know why. But
No,
now
they're
you're
so
gonna-
you.
I know. That's a cool colour as well.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
That was like, I needed something more in the evening as well. This one I think is a really nice, like, almost like vintage looking stout.
I love that.
But
I'm
I
a
really
big
like,
brown suede girl. Love that.
I think in the summer as well, it's really nice to kind of bring that tone in. The row bag, was my wedding bag. You know, the handkerchief one.
What was your first investment bag?
Probably, this was a really big investment for me, the Row Banana. I got it like 6 years ago.
Such a good shape.
It's such a good shape.
It's so practical as well when you're talking about kind of easy on the go pieces.
Yeah, really good. Especially like even when I was with the baby, I'd have nappies in there and a spare outfit and I'd just go out the house. Like being able to have like hands free, I feel like is really important. Going out bag, St. Agni.
That's really nice.
It's really sweet.
Really nice.
Such a nice simple shape. I think it's called like the bonbon or something like that.
And what about shoes?
I love having my toes out. I love having like open toe. I feel like it just sets off that kind of more relaxed vibe I try to go for. But these are the new Kate ones I was talking about.
I love them.
I'm so obsessed with them.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And they're really simple. Like I love them. St. Agni.
Another like pop of red, really like them. That's a great shoe.
I wore them with this as well, and I like the colours together, the combo. These are Lulu Studio. So I got them in the black satin and the white leather.
Yeah. Talk to me about the fisherman sandals.
Okay, so I love them. I'm obsessed with them. I haven't worn them as much as I want to.
Okay, why not?
I don't know if they suit me.
Okay.
But they're a style that I want to.
Yeah, and they're back again for this season.
My style might change next season,
Yeah,
and then they
there's
might
a new way to wear them.
a new way.
Yeah.
I just need a new way for them to like fit in with my style.
Okay.
These are C by CHLOÉ, and these are for like in the summer when I am like a bit more boho-y.
Yeah, I love them.
Because they're so comfortable to wear.
How do you wear them?
I wore them with some slightly flared jeans and just a t-shirt.
Okay.
So really simple.
Nice 70s.
But I really want to wear them with just like a simple white dress.
Yeah, gorgeous.
I think that will be really cool.
Gorgeous. And what about trainers, sneakers? What do you live in?
At the moment, I'm living in these Adidas ones.
Yeah, I love that.
When I got them at first, I was like, oh, the yellow's a bit out there. Then I looked at my wardrobe and I was like, yeah, but I am wearing quite a lot of yellow. So I'm wearing these a lot. I bought these the other day, both New Balance. They're really chunky. I feel like I'm not gonna really wear them in until like autumn, winter, later. But I know by the time it comes, the colour won't be there.
Yeah.
And I love the tones. I feel like I've been waiting for like these tones to come in.
So good.
Also, Lou, the bag behind you, this This one I love.
This is amazing.
I love it.
That's such a good shape, isn't it? That's a good airport bag.
This is another airport. So this is when I'm with the baby.
Yeah. Business versus baby.
Yes.
Love it. Cover
But
every
still
corner.
want to look like me, you know?
Amazing.
Still want to feel like me.
And what about jewellery?
Jewellery wise, at the moment, I'm really leaning towards like everything that's like beaded and stony.
Yeah.
These 2 rings are by Pariah and I wear them every day. They're so beautiful. I think they're jade stone cut. This one is that bag beater one, which I feel like just makes everything more relevant at the moment with the proper bread. And then, all in here, Lou, I won't let you see what a mess it is though. So this, I just kept Googling like jade stone, like big circular stone, and I found this New Zealand brand, I think they're called Jade Mountain, and every stone, they tell you who it's carved by, and every stone is completely different.
It's all got a story.
Such a story to it, and that's what I wore with the yellow La Collection dress to the wedding. It was so beautiful. So I wear that a lot.
Yeah.
And then these 2 bracelets. So this bracelet is Agni, and it's really beautiful,
really
isn't it?
cool.
Like so harsh and dense, but then feminine, like the way, I think it's the other way, goes around like that bone.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Really beautiful. And then this gold one is my Daphne piece, and it's my most treasured one because it's a replica of my granddad's. My granddad was just incredible, massive guy, tattoos, like a massive peacock over his hand, like his hands were like maybe even like 3 of mine. Like I just remember him being such like a presence. He's so big. And he had tattoos all over him and like big jewellery. And this was silver of his. And I just, you know, one of those pieces you always instantly remember.
Yeah.
When I picture him, I always pictured this.
I love that.
So when we started discussing doing this, I rang up my mum straight away and I was like, do you have his bracelet? I feel like this is like a really special piece.
Yeah, amazing.
And then to like the women in my family, I like sent it to them and they got all really emotional. So it's a really nice piece to have.
Amazing. Such a nice note to finish on. Thank you so much for opening up your wardrobe, sharing all your style tips. You have such an incredible collection. I hope you all enjoyed.
I am literally obsessed with her wardrobe. Now, we couldn't have the 3 of you here without picking your brains on more fashion recommendations, but I want to know about books, podcasts, documentaries. There's so many amazing fashion resources, it probably isn't the word, but out there. So I want to know what you guys love. Nadia?
Okay, so this is, it's not technically fashion, but I just finished the I Am Dion documentary of Celine Dion, which was incredible. I highly recommend watching it. And she goes through her entire archive. It's in a warehouse. She's so meticulous with organising it. I don't know how she's done that. Of every stage outfit ever designed by a whole list of designers, and it is incredible. Like, she pulls out pieces that you're just like, oh my God. I want to know if more, you know, singers have archives that are this incredible, and like, I don't know what she'll do with that.
I was just wondering.
Like, where will she leave that?
I saw a snippet of it actually where she's talking about the shoes and she doesn't care what the size is.
No, she's like, I'll go from 40 to a 37. I've got range. Like, you don't need to ask my size. Just tell me what size you have. Wow. It's amazing. But her archive is incredible. I would love to get lost in there.
We were talking on the podcast the other day about that insane fashion moment she had. We were trying to pinpoint it. I think it was just before the pandemic when Laura Roach was styling her and she was showing up at all these out of fashion week and just looking like so cool every time, right?
I think even like now you look at it at the time she got slated for like the back to front tucks, but actually like quite iconic.
Yeah.
Really fat.
Actually,
and she was a sort of like, you know, she was groundbreaking.
And
she was ahead of her
she's
time.
really brave.
And I love her face in shows because she's always really like emotive and like she's dying over each look. It's like really genuine, you know, like a real love of fashion.
And that she buys it. She's like, I buy it.
Yeah.
She buys it.
Yeah. She's like, I don't borrow, I buy.
Yeah,
Like,
she's definitely bought that. That is a warehouse that she has. Yeah.
Wow, I hope she puts it on display.
I hope you can somehow eventually go
maybe
there.
it'll be like Dollywood, but for Celine.
And just clothes. No rides, just clothes. Love it. Sunita, what about you? Any recommendations?
I loved, when I was doing my research, there was this documentary by Wim Wenders on Yohji Yamamoto, and it's called The Notebook on City and Clothes, and it's really, I mean, I love Wim's work, but he's spending time with Yohji, and it's just like very beautifully filmed, and it's all about Yogi's like philosophical musings, but it's also about like how we think about clothes and identity, and like living in different cities like Tokyo and New York, and it's just really, it's definitely one to watch.
Rosie, what about you?
I just really enjoyed the new Galliano documentary. I think it was really, really good, really well sort of put together, and I think like the timing of it, obviously like coming off the back of that incredible couture show that kind of was just such a, you know, such like a sort of incredible moment to kind of go back into and really hear him like talk about obviously all of the stuff that went on. I just think it was really good, and I think it's always just fab to hear from John because we so rarely get to hear from him, and I think it was a really, really well done.
Speculation that was his last show, and that was why it was so amazing.
Oh no.
Let's see. I know.
No.
Actually, I did have a note in here. So, speaking of saying, can you throw your hat in the ring as to who will take over Chanel? I mean, curveball, since we're talking about fashion, and that, I mean, perfect transition. That's a big old seat waiting to be filled. Any thoughts?
I think Eddie's going to do it.
Yeah.
No,
I think
absolutely
everybody
no.
thinks it's Eddie, right?
I think that they just there was an interview last week, I think, with the head of fashion at Chanel, and one of his comments was, we are not going to have someone who's going to come in and want to take over and redefine Chanel. We're not going to have someone who's going to want to remake it or say that, you know, I won't do tweed at Chanel, which is basically, I think, a direct reference to Hedi coming in and saying that he would want to change everything.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely not. And I think you want someone who, I think they'll want, I mean, I would like to see, obviously love to see a woman there. So, you know, but people are saying Sarah Burton, although I just don't know that she would want to go and do all of that all over again.
But she did an amazing job, obviously, at McQueen of, you know, maintaining a designer's legacy whilst also putting her own stamp on it, which is not something that, I mean, Hedi has his own look, and that's the look,
exactly.
right? So I mean, that's exactly what they're looking for, aren't they? Somebody who will stay
Although,
true.
did you watch that documentary when it was a Karl Lagerfeld one, and you know the era when he lost all that weight?
So that he could fit into Hedi's
so that he could fit into Hedi's
Dior
home. So in some way it would be full circle.
I think
You know,
ties up in a bow.
but I saw a meme and it's like if Hedi takes over and it's literally like a stick figure. It's really funny.
So skinny ties.
But I think they're very French, right? So I do see them bringing a French designer on. I feel like that's very Chanel, and for them to not bring someone who's not French would not be, I don't know, it's such a cultural fashion brand, right? It's so synonymous with France and what it's about. So I don't know. I'm sticking with my Eddie.
Okay. Whilst we're on the fashion chat, we can't not. We were just having a conversation in the break, Rosie, about your last cover at Vogue, which was Edward Enninful's last cover at Vogue, which was, I mean, the cover that broke the internet, the cover of all covers. With how many women did you have on that cover?
40.
40. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got to tell us. I mean, everyone knows what
Incredible.
it's obviously on the screen.
Yeah.
Tell us a little. So that was you. You got all those 40 women in a room together.
Yes, I mean, I had help, obviously.
I'm sure. But how does one even begin? What was the brief? Was it?
Well, it started off, Edward was like, oh, I want to do a group for my last cover, and we thought maybe that would be like a model group, and it would be like a few of like key models. And then he wanted Stephen Meisel to do it, and he was talking with Stephen, and Stephen was like, oh, but actually would it be cool not just to do models, and maybe we have people who've been on the cover before. And I was like, oh God. It's really hard to get people. People hate doing groups unless you've got something, you know, because the only reason you do a cover is if you've got something to promote.
Sure.
And so getting people to share a cover, you know, the egos get very complicated, and especially when then it becomes like different disciplines, whether it's like, you know, actresses and models and musicians and, you know, all sorts of different types of people. And so I was like, oh God, basically, I think you're mad. I don't think this will actually like happen. And then Ed sort of went off and started kind of just sort of, you know, as he always did, would just like sort of text people, and then suddenly he was like, "Well, Oprah has said yes."
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh God!
At that point, you knew you had to do it.
And then
right?
I was like, "Oh God, it's actually going to happen!" Like the pig is flying past the window, and then once we would start telling people, would be like, "Well, who else is doing it?" And we'd be like, "Oprah," and then everyone was like, "Okay, fine."
Of course.
And then
Everyone clears their diary.
So what? So you pick a date that Oprah's free, and then you just tell everyone who's available.
We were just like, "This is the date. No, this is it. You come under your own steam. We didn't pay travel for anyone. Everyone had to just be there and show up." And then it became, because it was about being there for Edward and being there for his legacy of that period of like British Vogue, which was about. And so having all of these women had been on the cover during his tenure, and you look at what that group was, and it is such an incredible, diverse group of all of these different women, you know, shapes, sizes, races, you know, all different disciplines, and that was everyone coming together to celebrate that and what he did in that moment. So it felt like, you know, a celebration rather than like anyone doing any kind of self-promotion.
It was really the fact that everybody thought it was CGI, and then and then the behind the scenes dropped, and everyone was like, "What? Mad!" I mean, Sunita, the foreword of your book is written by Edward, and you guys were just agreeing that the minute his name is attached to something, it's like, okay, well that's job done, right?
I think because he's such a generous character, right? And he was one of the first to, when I started doing the book, and we were just talking about Carolyn, and then I was like, oh my God, he worked with her during that time, and do you want to do? It was just so natural, and he said yes, and then, you know, I think also he's a great supporter of artistic and creative work, and so many of the people who were in the book were, and of Carolyn, and I think it's just such a great kind of flag of how our fashion industry works in a really good, positive way. You know, I think when we all do get together and celebrate someone who's passed or someone's incredible work, it's really cool. It's really beautiful.
It was a real moment.
Yeah.
Amazing. We're going to move on and do things we love. So I think we're going to take quite a sharp steer away from fashion with this arbitrary list of things we love. But that's the point. That's why we love it. Nadia, I'm coming to you first. What are you loving at the moment?
Okay, well, this is, definitely not in fashion, but I just came back from the south of France from this hotel called La Colombe d'Or.
Oh, that's my like bucket list place to stay.
It's incredible. It's beautiful. The guy who started it was like an artist himself, but he had like Picasso, Calder, all of them staying there, and they would sort of pay their bills with artworks, which I think ended up being much more lucrative. And he's got this huge like Fernando Leger mural outside in the terrace, which like everybody photographs, and a big Calder sculpture by the pool. The place is just magical, so I highly recommend that. That's
amazing.
That is, as I say, it's
beautiful
on my list.
place.
It books up very quickly.
Iconic. Apparently they open in October, and then you can book for the year.
It's like the one, like that day you have to book for the entire year, and it
sells itself.
It sounds amazing. Sunita, something random from you?
It's very random.
Tell us.
Never talk food, but this is the oven-baked Marmite cashew nuts, and it's literally changed my life.
Are they they're the little black packets?
They're in the little black packets.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Marmite anyway, but to have it oven baked on cashew nuts was, I literally took 4 from wherever I was. And
I sold them. Just took them. Yeah, sweet. They are so, if you need that like salty hit, it's like.
Exactly. It does.
And Rosie?
I'm obsessed with.
I'm gonna whip it out. Yeah.
I know. Actually, so Kendall Jenner has one of these the other day, and I was like obsessed because I'm really mad about taking my vitamins and making sure that I have everything when I'm traveling, and so it like pulls out.
Genius. Love it. Hojo there is like ordering around as we speak with all her.
So it's really good, really handy, and like doesn't look like, you know, you don't feel like a kind of like a nana. Like
Like,
you know, the Monday, Tuesday.
Like a
it's chic. Yeah, and there we go.
Very chic. There we go. I love the randomness. Thank you all so much. That is it for today. I'm being told to do mine. Okay, I'll do mine. There's a blusher. Mine's a bit more chic. No, there's a Rare blusher, Rare Beauty, which is Selena Gomez's brand. But I feel like they kind of like that does it a disservice. Like it's genuinely so amazing. And they do these powder blushes and they are like the most iridescent. I can't believe you can get
Have
that
you got
much
it on
glow.
now?
Yeah, I was literally about to say you
very
are.
nice.
It's like wild levels of shimmer, given that it's not a liquid, it's a powder. But the only downside is they're quite breakable. Mine is like one day it will all be in my handbag.
Yeah, as soon as you drop it.
Yeah, but just like the most amazing formula, really dense.
What shade are you wearing?
That's a really good question. I don't know. We'll put it in the notes. By the time this goes live, everyone will know. It's fine. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Thank you all so much. What a treat to have you all here today. Thank you, of course, also to Monique and to Lou. Next week, Louise is back with more great guests and fabulous content. In the meantime, we would love it if you could comment below, give us a thumbs up, and do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye-bye.